Best scene, Lightkeepers. Fade in. Interior, lighthouse, night. Scotland, 1910. We hear a raging storm outside. A castaway recovers in a bunk, gravely injured and unconscious throughout the scene. Duncan and Fergus sit across from each other at a small table. One of Fergus's feet is badly hurt. He eats gruel from a bowl and glares at Duncan. Duncan ignores the icy stare and scribbles in his logbook. Fergus slurps the last of the gruel, and his frustration boils over.
Measly quarter rations. How's a man expected to survive? And that's just the tack. Once that water goes, a few more days of this and we're all done for. But then, it doesn't have to be that big.
He leans across the table and scowls. Duncan ignores him and keeps writing in his logbook.
Well?
Well, what?
What are we to do then, sir? Shall we die of bloody thirst or just starve ourselves?
You store that kind of talk this instant?
You know what I mean?
I'm sure I don't.
Fergus points at the sleeping castaway.
3 men can tighten their belts a lot better than 4.
That may be so.
We're under no obligation to give room and board to a bloody squarehead. Not when he already has one leg in the pearly gates.
We're under no obligation to murder him either.
Maybe not now, but come tomorrow, or the day after. Who can tell?
He's in God's hands, not yours.
I'm up to the task is all, when the time does come.
You stand fast on that, or I'd lash you to your bunk.
I'm not saying I'm eager, sir. Just, if the thing needs doing.
They sit in silence. Duncan keeps writing, and Fergus sops up every bit of grease from the bowl with his fingers. The storm blows outside.
Actually, if you really think about it, it's a mercy. That leg of his is about to turn, and once that happens, well, it's not the way I'd want to go at all.
That reminds me. How is your foot feeling? Shall we have a look at it before we make our final decision, eh? See which of you is worse off.
Don't you be worrying about me, sir. I'm fit. I'm in the best shape of my life. It's that squarehead bastard we need to think about. Think on that. To live like half a man. If you even survive the chop, mind. They might even have to do it aboard ship. Imagine that. Floor all slicked up with blood and the boat rocks just a bit as they're tipping away.
Duncan slams the logbook shut to silence Fergus.
We are not having this discussion right now, sailor.
Fergus flings his bow across the room in a flash of rage.
Then when are we meant to have it, eh?
I said stow it.
No. Then when are we meant to have it? It needs to be done. Or are we the death of us all, sir?
You keep your bloody voice down. For God's sake. You're like to wake the devil.
Fergus stands up. He uses a makeshift crutch to support himself and limps over to the castaway.
Who, him? He'll be lucky if he ever wakes up again. And if he does, he'll be damn lucky to get another quarter ration of our tack.
What if the gillies healed you, eh?
The lad deserves to know. Hell, we should give him a vote. That way there's 3 of us. Then we can decide to suffer another day or end it here and now.
It isn't ending anything. Taking a life is never the end. You have to carry that with you always. Beyond the grave, even.
I'd rather that than die on this rock. I don't care anymore, Duncan. I just want to go home. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the island. I'm sick of the lighthouse. I'm sick of the fucking storm. I'm sick of starving for a goddamn sweet.
Fergus lunges for the castaway. Duncan leaps from the table and tackles him. They scuffle on the floor and trade blows. Fergus, in his mania, attacks like a feral beast. His steely fingers clench around Duncan's throat, but Duncan traps Fergus's injured foot between his own boots. Fergus squeals and lets go. Duncan gains the upper hand and straddles Fergus. He grabs for a stool and raises it threateningly. Fergus cowers.
No, please.
But Duncan's face twists in blind rage as he rears back to smash Fergus. Suddenly, we hear a ship's foghorn blast through the lighthouse. It brings the 2 men to their senses instantly and saves Fergus's life. They lock eyes and breathe hard.
The land.
The horn blares again, and their duty supersedes everything else. Duncan drops the stool and rushes to exit. Fergus scrambles to his feet and limps after him. Fade out. The end.